We had an interesting week of football, but I would say that the best takeaway is a week of no stress or heartbreak because it was a bye week for me. So
He will now have 8 heart-induced stress attacks coming this next week.
no.
Welcome back to the James and Dame Show. I'm Josiah.
And I'm Will.
And today we're talking about week
7.
7 recap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And
Yeah.
it's been one of those days, apparently.
Yes.
So we're going to go over what the heck happened in week 7 because, I don't know, we know nothing.
Yeah, it was an interesting. I don't know.
He didn't have his Ravens playing, so he was fine.
I was just watching.
But just watching these games, I was like, do we not know anything anymore? All we know is pain and confusion. That's about it.
Confusion.
Confusion for the most part.
Some of it was actually really exciting. One of the games that I wanted to start off with, it was like an oddly hyped up game, was the Bengals and the Steelers.
Yes, that was a game that I was looking forward to.
I honestly, I didn't have super high expectations. We both had the Bengals winning, and we managed to get that right.
We called it.
Whether you want to refer to it as the Icy Hot Bowl or the Unk Bowl, but that is the two common names that I had seen.
The Icy Hot Unk Bowl.
It didn't disappoint though. It was a shootout. From a viewer perspective, I think it was very exciting. From a Bengals fan perspective, also very exciting. And then Steelers fans cry and whine online because they're Steelers fans, very sore losers.
Don't you do that sometimes? Like, you don't go online and
No,
cry
I don't.
about it,
I
but
don't go online and cry about it. I complain about my team. I don't complain about the refs every time I lose a game. Steelers fans.
Yeah, no one's exempt from that. But I will say this though, we were talking about this. I think it was during the live stream this last Sunday about how I don't trust any Steelers defense after 2021. Or whatever it was. I don't remember exactly what I said, but no Steelers defense has been as good as that 2021 Steelers team. And this game proves my point.
I mean, I think we've had a lot of questions about the Steelers defense all year. Actually, even going into the year in our Let's Talk About the Steelers episode, where we talked about what makes this what is going to actually make the Steelers defense functional. And it's the lack of safeties that's really going to take a hit. Also, Jalen Ramsey has not been playing his best football, especially from this game. But
he's old for a corner.
Yeah, it's very disappointing for the Steelers, but very exciting for the Bengals to get back in kind of a good offensive swing. And a lot of Bengals fans were very upset getting Joe Flacco, and I even said after that trade happened, I said, listen, you need a veteran who's got the processing power to do what you need to do, not some guy who's just going to fling it 80 yards downfield. And look at Joe go. Joe Flacco.
Look at Joe go.
Joe Flacco, not Joe Burrow.
The other Joe.
Too many Joes. But again, Steelers, they got this is I think they're going to make the playoffs pretty comfortably, but I do see there's enough there to have hopes of a Super Bowl run, but I've said several times, I say it during live streams, you need a defense and you need a run game. They don't have a run game, and their defense is hit or miss.
Very much so.
So Steelers, that's concerning. Bengals, maybe you leave the window open for Joe Burrow to come back, because if you're not playoff bound, he's not going to come back. That's if he wants to come back. Well, he's going to want to come back.
Well, he's going to want to come back, but like it's not a season-ending injury. If the Bengals are in a good spot to at least make a push for like one of those lower seeds, he might come back.
Yeah, but then he could die again. That O-line has been so bad.
That O-line specifically hates Joe Burrow. You saw how they performed against the Steelers, against T.J. Watt. For Joe Flacco, they hate Joe Burrow. Well, it is confirmed.
They didn't do good for Jake Browning either. So I think it's really just, again, Flacco knows how to work an O-line, even a bad O-line. If you give him he knows what he's doing.
I guess so.
It's that veteran essence. But yeah, as far as this game goes, it was, again, exciting shootout. Jamar Chase played really well. First time in a couple weeks that's happened. But
I am personally just mad of the fact that they made that Bengals O-line look like a top 10 O-line in the nation kind of O-line.
I mean, I wouldn't say that.
Well, okay. What did TJ Watt do all night?
They didn't do all that much, but that's just because of how you're running your offense. You're not having Jake Browning just try and find Jamar Chase 30 yards downfield every play.
He's finding him 10 yards down the field.
Yeah, it's just playing smarter, which is, again, what you get with that veteran. That's what that experience does.
Yeah, I don't know. It's disappointing for me because it's I know that Steelers defense is supposed to be good, but here we are.
It's concerning.
Same old Steelers.
It is concerning, but the one thing I do want to take, this is kind of that goes beyond this, and this kind of teases what we'll get into later as this heats up, is Steelers have been rumored to be looking for a speedy receiver. That came out that they were looking out for a receiver that will stretch the defense, and I've heard some names, and it's gonna be interesting to get into that, but get into more in depth what that's gonna look like after we get through some of these big topic games. Another game that was, I think one of the most exciting games this week. Possibly one of the best games. I would say best comeback of the season. And I think it's up there all time as a comeback.
It is definitely up there all time.
Was the Giants-Broncos game with the Broncos coming back from 19 down in the fourth quarter and putting up 33.
Within 5:30. 5:15, 5:30, or whatever it was.
It was under 6 minutes.
It was
and I don't know what. There's a lot to take away from this game. Giants, 9 straight road losses. They haven't won on the road since they upset the Seahawks last year. Let's see. Again, the rookies, they played pretty well. The team looks pretty good for 3 quarters. But it's the same thing they did against the Saints, where it's just consecutive drives, or just a couple consecutive drives of bad play on both sides of the ball, not playing a full complete game and finishing a game, and that's what cost them this. That plus having a kicker who missed 2 extra points was the first time a team has lost by 1 point with 2 missed extra points with no blocks. Very niche stat,
but it's a glaring stat.
It sums it. I mean, those alone could have won them the game, or at least put it in a much more winnable spot. But
it's a tieable one, so they can go to overtime. But the thing is just with this performance, I don't think this is more of a player fault. It's not Dart's fault. It's not Scadaboo's fault. It's not any of the team. I think it's just coaching. Well, it's plainly coaching in my eyes, because I don't know what Dable was doing, especially in the fourth quarter, but it wasn't great. You look at this defense who had some question marks for
a lot of the game, and even in the fourth quarter, they still let up 13 points when they were losing pretty heavily. So they came up when it mattered. They showed that pick on Jackson Dart was mostly due to just pressure.
Yeah, I guess
that
it's not entirely Dart's fault for that game, but like that interception definitely swung it.
That gave the Broncos the chance they needed, but that came from pressure. Their front seven for the Broncos has been playing very well. The secondary has been what's struggling, which is I don't think that's what people expected this year, but it's what they've been doing well. Looking at big picture, if you're the Giants, yes, this is humiliating for the Giants. But I've said it before, they're not going to be a good team this year, but they will be a fun and exciting team, and they will lose games because they are not complete. And
this
you
is
don't
the
have
reason why.
Yeah, this is a really good example of that. Malik Neighbors is hurt. You're really banged up, and your receiver room isn't great right now.
No,
and you're not complete yet.
This will be.
This is you have if you can have a good offseason, you could be a really good team next year. Don't expect to be good this year. And there are some people who are saying, should you ride with Brian Daboll next year because of stuff like this? I don't think this is a good judge of anything because, again, you're dealing with a lot of rookies, a lot of young guys. Give them the rest of the year to show what they can do and come in next year with the guy who's actually getting some excitement out of this team.
Yeah.
I think again, this is just what you expect from the Giants.
Yeah. And I'm not entirely defending Daboll here, but I mean, if you remember that season where the Giants went to the playoffs with Daboll, with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, I mean, even then, Daboll's not a terrible coach. He just makes some boneheaded decisions sometimes. And it's just it's either growing pain or it's just a thing that he's just going to have to overcome.
This is they had to go back into a rebuild, and this is your first year with your new players. Usually this is you have found a core. They need time. And again, it's not going to be pretty this year, but I think if they stick with it, next year is going to be your year to assess Brian Daboll. Could it potentially, if they lose out the rest of the year, which I don't think they will. No. I think they win at least 3 more. I see them as at least a 5-win team as is. Yeah. But they're just not a complete team yet.
Yeah.
And they're not playing complete football.
They will get there one day. It just won't be this year.
That's what you're going to get with a lot of young players. You're going to get rookie mistakes.
I mean, that's kind of what the Broncos did last year.
Yeah.
To an extent. That's just how it was.
But, I mean, as you bring it up, looking at the flip side, the Broncos, again, looked not great for most of the game.
Yes.
But, I know you've been very hard on the Broncos, Bo Nix, and the offense.
Yeah, it's really hard to root for them, but this game, I don't hate them. I don't hate Broncos. I'm very harsh on them.
Look at what Bo Nix has done in the fourth quarter of games.
In this fourth quarter, yes.
33 against the Giants, but he also had the comeback against the Eagles in the fourth quarter. It's been ugly for 3 quarters, but him and the Broncos have done what they need to pull out wins in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And so it's this mix of it's not complete football, but
that's what scares me.
It's concerning, but the way they've played in the fourth quarter has been very impressive.
Fourth quarter team.
And I mean, a fourth quarter team, it's going to put you in some tough spots potentially, but they're pretty good. This is just a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
Because even the Giants, they still looked pretty good. It's just that fourth quarter, that fourth quarter collapse, where your offense, turnover and then a 3-and-out. That's just. But even they came this close to pulling out a win as well. It was such a fun game. But moving along, there's a lot of blowouts with some talking points behind them. But keeping to a questionable win with the Packers and Cardinals.
That one has a few questions on it. This is another reason why I can't really trust the Packers for the most part. Jordan Love can be a good quarterback.
Oh, he definitely can. Yeah,
He definitely can. It's just it's not consistent. And that's what scares me for this team too, because the Green Bay Packers, in my opinion, should be 6-0 right now. They should be.
yeah.
They should have beaten the Cowboys.
Should have beaten the
and-
Cowboys and should not have lost to the Browns.
Yeah, they should not have lost to the Browns. Like, this should be the only undefeated team left. But here
Yeah.
we are talking about how sloppy they are against the Cardinals. Granted, the Cardinals have won and lost
They've
4 games.
They've only played in one-score games. They've
It's-
lost 5 in a row, which
which is
is an
concerning,
interesting flip side.
but
We'll get
it's-
to, but
it's still one of those things where it's like, if you're supposed to be a Super Bowl caliber team, you shouldn't be losing to the Browns and playing close games to the Arizona Cardinals with Brissett under center. Like, Brissett's a good backup, don't get me wrong. The Cardinals, though, McBride's a great tight end.
McBride had a great game.
That's a great game. But that's not something that you should be close to losing, I guess. And they were down for most of that game, too. Like, they should not have been down against the Cardinals for that entire game.
Yeah, and again, I wouldn't give credit to just the Cardinals for, even though they've not been winning these games, they've at least played games close.
They're competitive, and that's different from years past.
Where I look at the Packers right now, and it's like, it's my source of concern, but also why I think they could still make a Super Bowl run, is the thing that is getting the Packers these wins and kind of keeping them up, because the pass game has kind of been like hit
It's
or
pretty
miss.
Yeah.
What has kind of carried them is Josh Jacobs and the defense.
Those are the only two.
They're consistently, especially Josh Jacobs is consistently good. The defense,
Feed the man.
yeah, pretty
Literally
much.
feed the man.
But the Packers, like, I have my concerns, but you're still winning, so like, nah.
yeah.
But if you looking at the Cardinals again, like I mentioned, 5th loss out of 7 one-score games, and it's 5 in a row, all like heartbreaking last second too.
Yeah.
I feel like we're approaching a point at which, I mean, it could probably be the next thing we talk about, because this is going to be an interesting point. But is it time to question Gannon, or is it time to question Kyler?
I think it's a time to question Kyler.
I mean,
It might be a combination of both, but I would rather lose Kyler than Gannon right now. Because Gannon has been able to make something happen with Brissett.
yeah, but I mean, again, these games, there's still one score.
Yes,
It's
it's
not
still one score. But Kyler Murray is making more boneheaded decisions and has not been consistent whatsoever. I know it's Brissett's one game, but at least Brissett looked more confident under center.
Yeah, 2 games.
2 games. Yeah, my bad. 2 games.
At least Kyler's won, though.
This is also true.
Brissett has not.
Brissett is not. I understand that. But at least I'd rather have consistency in playing competitive than inconsistency and barely winning games. Like that doesn't inspire confidence for later down the road when you actually get to your bigger competitions, especially when you play tougher teams like the Packers. Obviously, Kyler Murray wasn't playing this game, but when he does come back, is he going to step up? Is he going to actually be more consistent? Is he going to actually throw the ball? Is he not just going to be standing there for most of the time? Or is he just going to stop running around like a little child trying to keep a piece of candy away from another one? I don't know. It's just Kyler Murray does not inspire, at least to me, consistency and great quarterback play. We haven't seen that since that Bills-Cardinals game from 2020 now.
It's been a while,
It's
but
been a while.
I don't even look at that. It's hard for me to put it on Kyler, though, because yes, there's been injury, and that's been a big part of the issue with him, is him staying healthy, and that really, to me, is the only thing that's kind of knocked him down a peg, because looking, again, we've seen it with Kyler in, but also with Kyler out, this team puts themselves in winning situations, but the last 5, they've not been able to hold on to those. Like, they keep losing in heartbreaking fashion. And to me, that looks more like a coaching issue rather than like, and if you look at the wins they had, it was the Saints and the Panthers, which were only 1-score games because of comebacks. I feel, and they're like, again, Kyler could be the issue on the offense, but the offense doesn't look good. And I think part of that is also just what the offense has looked like.
They also lost to the freaking Callahan Titans.
This is true. And if you look at the way they lost that game, to me that looks like coaching, not Kyler Murray. Yes, it wasn't pretty, the way Kyler...
Both need to be evaluated.
Both need to be evaluated, but we've seen that Kyler can be good when he had the better years out of Kingsbury.
That's true.
And, you know, Marvin Harrison, he's starting to play a little bit better.
He's starting to develop.
If you get, but I don't believe in like the scheme that the offense is running right now.
No.
And so I think if they got something better in there, they would actually potentially get more out of Kyler, out of Marvin Harrison, and develop and utilize Trey McBride better. I think Kyler can, again, you have to assess him in, I think, a different scheme, and I think Gannon has kind of been losing a lot of the credibility that's kept him in the job right now. So to me, I think it's not time to move on from Gannon, but it's time to start putting him under a microscope.
Yep.
But speaking of guys under a microscope, tell me, it's not necessarily the game. We can talk about the game, but more importantly, how does Mike McDaniel still have a job? This is as of Tuesday the 21st, so there's still time. But usually in this window, let me double check, make sure that nope, he still has a job. And not just that, he's sticking with Tua. What is Miami doing? I thought Miami would be the wise ones.
No.
At least the ones willing to move on.
See, the thing is that we talked about this last week. I said this is the game to decide whether one of these coaches would be not just on the hot seat or looking to be fired. Stefanski, not so much, because he's still probably their best coach they've had in forever. But the Dolphins, you lose to freaking Cleveland, 31-6. It had 3 turnovers and no touchdowns.
The Dolphins,
they gave up.
The Browns didn't even do much on offense.
It was their entire defense.
The defense, because they just waited for the Dolphins to shoot themselves in the foot over and over and over again.
Yeah,
and then just capitalize.
And then also Judkins had a great day. So
Judkins, he played well. The rookies played well.
The rookies did amazing that day. Even Gabriel, who wasn't
he didn't do
great.
He was just efficient.
He was efficient, which is something you wanted to see out of him. And that's just how it is. And you have McDaniels just standing there on the sideline going I don't mean to bash him like that, but he hasn't done anything to change
so
scheme, to change their roster, to bench Tua, put Ewers. Well, no, actually, they did put Ewers in.
They did. They benched Tua.
Put Ewers in.
They benched Tua.
But they're still sticking with Tua.
Next week, yeah.
Yeah, and in my opinion, I think we could see Ewers for the second half of the season.
Oh,
if
McDaniels gets fired, I would expect that.
If McDaniels gets fired, Ewers could go in. But if McDaniels for some reason still does not get fired, I don't know how much longer we can see Tua. And Tua is still throwing blame at his own teammates for some reason. Dude, you're the one who's throwing the picks.
It's bad because he's not the only one throwing blame, because McDaniels threw blame at Tua. He said, I don't expect someone to have 10 interceptions at this point in the season. Tua's been bad. And
you're the one who's still letting him play.
Yes, Tua's been bad. Tua needs to be better if he wants to play, but you're still allowing him to play, and that's costing you game. You might not win this game with Tua out, but this game would be a game if it wasn't for Tua being in.
Yeah.
And
Ewers at least could have had rookie mistakes, but he still would have performed better in Cleveland.
I don't think it would be worse than this.
No, it'd probably be slightly better. They probably lose by 14 instead of 25.
I don't know. I don't know how he still has a job. I don't know how Tua is still going to be the starter. If last week you said, "Oh yeah, this game goes 31-6," but McDaniels and Tua are still going to be there,
I would have called you crazy.
I would have called Miami straight up and gone,
What are you doing down there? Brian Flores called it. We're gonna. I might have to give credit to Brian Flores here because he's the one who didn't like Tua in the first place. He didn't want Tua.
I don't think Tua is horrible. I think a lot of Tua's stuff comes down to his injuries.
It really does, and with all the concussions he's gotten, it's just kind of just put a huge. Just no, not literal, but put a whole dent in his career because ever since he's gotten that first major concussion, it's all been downhill since then. It's been slow, but it's been downhill.
It's
not been pretty.
It's been bad.
Yeah, and I a part of me was cheering on Tua to come back after that, but ever since that first concussion, it's just been like I can't tell if it's the CTE, which it probably is, but at the same time, it's like he's had time to rest. He hasn't been hit with super major injuries besides the concussions. There shouldn't be any reason why he hasn't bounced back at least to a little bit.
It's the issue of a brain injury is when you have brain injuries. If it's like some of that, it's long term. It's not like a muscle where you can work it back.
Yeah.
If you have damage to your brain doesn't recover properly.
From that. And then that's where I was hoping that the concussions weren't that detrimental to his health.
And it might not be. It could literally just be he is just bad now. He benefited from a good scheme and a lot of stuff fitted for him.
Yeah, and you lost the locker room. They lost the locker room in week 4 or whatever it was when they had their players meetings or whatever it was. Then no one showed up.
Miami is a mess right now, and the fact that those two still.
I cannot believe I'm saying this, but the Dolphins might actually have a worse record than the Saints this year. If they continue down this path and they stick with what they have with McDaniels and Tua.
I don't see how these two end the year with a starting job for Tua and McDaniel still at the helm. But I don't know.
At least Rattler looks consistent.
Yeah, he's solid.
He's okay, but he's not.
Kind of reminds me of Ritter, but
yeah, just a little bit.
On the flip side is the last thing I want to throw in there for the game. I've noticed a trend for the Browns.
Oh,
they have 2 wins. Both wins in the dude wipes. They're 2-0 in dude wipes. I don't know what to...
Bring back the dude wipes for every single game. The Browns are going to the Super Bowl.
When they're at home in the dude wipes, they haven't lost. One was against the Dolphins, so that doesn't mean a lot, but you won pretty big. The other one was against the Packers.
In dude wipes.
Both in dude wipes. Apparently looking like doo-doo helps you win. Maybe it's because it hurts the team's eyes too much. I don't know. But I think that's just... Yeah. I think that's the move for them going forward.
That's bad.
But any last minute games you want to talk about?
Obviously there have been some games that are a little bit disappointing. The Rams completely smack around the Jaguars. I thought the Jaguars would actually dominate in London a little bit, but here we are. Rams put that away at a half. So there's nothing there. Bears are 4-2 right now. And the Panthers are over 500 for the first time in 4 years.
Woo.
So positive things coming from both of them.
I guess I did want to bring up a small piece where a lot of there's a lot of blame being thrown on Justin Fields right now. And
yeah, to be completely fair, he's kind of bad.
It's okay, so it's back-to-back losses with only allowing 13 points for the Jets. But I think a lot of this, because Tyrod Taylor didn't do great either.
No.
I think a lot of this goes on your OC, because I think their offense is just
Bad.
dysfunctional, because it's not untalented. I mean, obviously you didn't have Garrett Wilson, but
No.
you have a good backfield. You have players there, and Justin Fields, I think, is better than what he's been playing as. I think a lot of this comes down to some level coaching, but I don't put too much on Aaron Glenn because this isn't really his specialty. He's a defensive-minded guy. I'm more concerned about an offensive coordinator that clearly doesn't know how to like run an offense with these players. So I put that there just because I like Fields, so I'm giving him a little bit of slack on it, but I feel like he's getting hate even though it's not really him. It's more, I think it goes above him.
It's definitely a coaching thing, but at the same time, he's got to break out someday.
He does, and again, it's just not been pretty.
Other than that, Colts are 6-1, leading the AFC. So who expected that?
Nobody. I mean, the way Jonathan Taylor's been playing though is
It's kind of just let him run down your.
he has more 3 touchdown games by himself than like, what is it? Than like 10 teams, 10 whole teams.
Sounds about right.
And he has 3. I think that's a funny stat.
Was it Cowboys with the upset? Upset technically. If you talked about pick'em leagues, it doesn't surprise me too much, especially with Jaden Daniels getting taken out of the game towards the end.
I mean, he that game was long gone anyways.
Yeah, it was just it was completely epitomized when Daniels went down. And to be completely fair, CeeDee Lamb came back.
Yeah, they just played very well.
They have a great offense now.
I mean, they've had a good offense.
They've amped up the offense, and their defense actually showed up for once. However,
I think that's some concerns for the Commanders than anything.
Yeah, that's more a concern for the Commanders than anything else, because normally that defense is not that good. In fact, they were bottom of the NFL, and they still are, or at least bottom 5. So that's more of a oof on the Commanders' part than anything else. Give credit to the Dallas defense for actually showing up that day, but I think it was more of the offense of the Commanders not doing anything. Yeah, we talked about that. 49ers winning. You're game managers at this point, so I shouldn't be surprised anymore.
They're just playing smart. They're well coached. Their defense potentially top 5, and CMC's doing the heavy lifting.
I just can't wait for the January joke.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised,
it happens
but
at some point.
They're gonna get healthier as the season goes on.
Yeah. And then
Buccaneers Lions. That one I kind of thought that one was surprising, but mostly because I didn't expect the Detroit defense to do as well as it did, especially without having Brian Branch.
They did pretty well. I'm gonna give them that.
Only allowed 9 points.
For a Bucs team that's been putting up like at least, was it 23 or 24 a game?
It's been a good Bucs offense. They are a little injured, and Big Boo
can't do everything by himself.
This is I will also say they took a big hit. They got Mike Evans back, but then he ended up injured, he's done for the year.
And I'm so mad because that means he can't.
He's not going to get his 1,000-yard season.
1,000-yard season, and I'm mad about that.
Yeah,
that was the one thing I was looking forward to when he returned. It was like he's got to do it for another year.
I think the fashion it happened in last year was the indicator that it wasn't going to happen again, at least not in Tampa Bay. But here we are. His streak's going to end on a season-ending injury.
And that's not his fault. That's just how the injuries work.
Yeah. I do want to look at like the flip side because Jahmyr Gibbs was pretty much
feed the man.
Yeah, he went 17 carries, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 receptions for 82 yards. He did the fact, like, I have to tip my hat to the Buccaneers because despite giving so much up to Gibbs, they only allowed 24 points with that kind of production.
Yeah, that defense did show up. And the thing is that if this wasn't a Buccaneers defense, or at least if that defense wasn't as good as it was, Detroit could have ran away with that score, at least putting up like 35 or 40 up on them. Like it could have been really bad, but good thing that your defense is really good, but your offense is a little injured. I can't do much. I mean,
the way your offense looks right now, Mike Evans hasn't been a big producer. I haven't even seen a lot of him this year, and I know it's because he's been injured, but him and Godwin, the guys who've been running the show, have not been as effective this year. I've seen
I don't
a
think
lot.
even Godwin's back yet.
It's been Igbuka, it's been Shepard, Tez Johnson. Like, it is a completely revamped receiver room, and so now it's like.
And then you kind of wondered why they went to a Big Boo. Sorry, I'm gonna keep saying his name like that.
It's like I see why they did it. I just didn't expect the defense to step up the way it did this year. But that's why people thought they should go for it, is because they needed the defense to be better, and it has been better. They just did it through other means. So good for them. But
also Seahawks competitive for once.
Seahawks pretty good. Texans,
they're bad.
Their offense is bad. Their defense has been pretty good.
Their defense is good. Their offense is bad.
JSN's been like lights out. That's why I think, like, even looking at 27.
I believe JSN is leading the leagues
for receiving yards.
Receiving yards, I believe.
I believe so, because
he's the top receiver.
He was, I think, second to Puka, but Puka's been injured.
So JSN took the.
JSN right now, potential offensive player of the year. I think he's probably runner-up right now behind Jonathan Taylor.
Yep.
But see, like, Texans, your offense is so bad, and they've even come out. D'Amico Ryans came out and said that they're gonna stick with their OC. Sounds like a few teams I know that are like, we refuse to change. So
yeah.
But it was an interesting week of football. But before we get into power rankings, we are rapidly approaching the trade deadline, and there's not been many moves yet, but I do have a list of names that have been rumored, and so we're gonna kind of speed run this. And it's gonna be, do they get traded and where? So first up, Vegas Raiders Jacoby Myers said he wants to be moved. Does he get traded, and where? I think with how adamant he's pushing, and the Raiders looking as bad as they are, they're going to look for capital. I think he gets moved. Actually, with the injuries, especially that we had just talked about, I could see him potentially landing in Tampa Bay.
He could revamp that receiver room a little bit, or at least give him more variety.
Throw him in there.
Baker's been working without anybody, really.
You throw him in there with Shepard, Tez Johnson, and Igbuka. It adds some depth, and you could put him even over Shepard, and then you get a combo of Myers, Shepard, or Myers, Igbuka, and Johnson.
It's not too bad.
I kind of feel like that could be a move, because, again, I think the Buccaneers could look at one, the Eagles could look at one, Patriots, Bills, as far as just looking for receiver, Chargers maybe. Broncos maybe.
I don't think the Broncos.
Jags could look for a receiver.
Jags could also as well. I think Chargers, Jags, and Tampa Bay would probably be the ones I would assume would try and take Myers.
Next would be Breece Hall. Has been listed as a potential traded player.
Running back.
I know the Chargers are a team potentially looking at a running back.
Chargers would be the top, in my opinion. Bengals, maybe, if they really want to do it.
It would give them a potentially the chance to make a push.
Especially with Chase Brown back there. Steelers
could use a running back.
They could use a running back. They have Warren. That's about it.
Their run game has been weak. But yeah, I like
Chargers makes the most sense.
Chargers makes a lot of sense. Even the Broncos.
Yeah, the Broncos also do as well. Because Breece Hall is going to make your running back room immediately better.
I could honestly. Well, I guess the first question is, does he get traded?
There's a good chance he doesn't, but if he does, it probably goes to Chargers, Broncos, or Patriots.
I have a hard time seeing them actually moving on from Breece Hall.
He's been such a core piece to that offense. I don't think they will ever get rid of him.
If it is, I think it's the Bengals.
Bengals, yeah. Bengals
I think that's a move they could make, especially with a win. But I feel like he doesn't move. Cincinnati, Trey Hendrickson.
Mm-hmm.
Does he get moved? And where? Do you even think the Bengals will trade him, though?
They probably won't. But at the same time, it's like...
With that win and the way they've been thinking, I'm gonna say they don't trade him.
Yeah, they desperately need him.
Maybe like at the end of the year, but like, with the way the Bengals have been, I don't think they trade him. But yeah, you're saying they keep him?
They keep him, but there's like a couple teams that could probably make a bid for him.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll get calls. Saints, Chris Olave.
He stays. He
stays?
He's one of those core pieces for the Saints. I don't think he ever gets traded. If he does, it has to be at a premium pick.
Well, I think, and that's part of the thing is with how the show he put on this last week, he might actually garner enough interest because he actually played pretty well.
Yeah.
But
the Saints don't strike me as a team that want to get rid of like a piece that he could use down the road.
I think the thing with Olave with the Saints is I think they shop him for the purpose of, hey, we want a big pick.
And like same thing for the same teams. Steelers and Patriots, they've needed those big weapons. You could think of like who else? Broncos maybe.
Broncos,
Sean Payton's
Bills.
there. Bills could need him. Bills could make a good pick out of Olave.
I think the Bills with him would be interesting.
He's a top receiver for the.
I mean, he's not like the fastest guy, but I do feel like
receiver.
I feel like that's. We talked about it earlier. Steelers looking for a speedy receiver. I think they have their eyes on two guys. I think Chris Olave is one of them.
He could be one of them, yeah.
So, I think Chris Olave. The other guy, honestly, we can jump down to him. Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle's been kind of.
If he gets moved, he's a very speedy receiver. That is what he's
fast,
known for. So potentially he could get moved. If he gets moved, I think the Steelers is the place for him.
Yeah.
Yep. I guess that's just like a sneak peek at potential moves, and there's always going to be people who move that we don't expect to move. I think a couple of years ago, back to the Bills trading for Rasul Douglas, who I never expected, but it happened. So
yeah.
I'm just excited to see what happens. But moving along to power rankings.
All right.
Are you prepared? Do you have any honorable mentions this week? I have two.
I have a couple. I have the 49ers. Patriots are sneaking in there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Those three for sure.
I had gotten very close to putting the Steelers in until they lost to the Bengals. So
yep.
They're not even in my honorable mention now. My honorable mentions. I've done some rearranging, like almost completely flipped things around from last week. Mm-hmm. So might be a little jarring. One is the Patriots.
Okay.
Giving them the nod because they've been playing well. It's not flashy, but it is winning games. And then the other one is the Eagles.
Oh, so you don't even have the Eagles in.
No, I dropped them out after reevaluating how they've been playing and how they played against the Vikings. Their defense is good, but I still have some. If their offense stays back on track, then they'll easily work their way back in. But like you can't even get Saquon going right now, which is concerning. And not every team's gonna. I don't think every
the Madden curse.
Well, that's very fair. But I'll let you go on to number 10.
For number 10, I have the Seahawks.
I also have the Seahawks at number 10.
Okay.
They're a good team. I had them on the fringe last week.
They're 5-2. They're competitive, but at the same time, I know the Seahawks game. They look good, but then they don't.
They're like JSN's playing very well.
Yes.
Sam Darnold's playing pretty well too. The offense has been working pretty well, but the run game hasn't been as effective, and your defense has holes, which has kind of been the concern, and that's why I didn't move them up too much with their win over the Texans, because the Texans' offense has been the thing holding them back all year.
Yeah, it's been kind of booty, so
yeah.
Whatever.
But it's number 9.
Number 9, I have Broncos.
Interesting.
There's been some rearranging on my end too.
That's a little interesting. And again, I move things around. I've moved things around a bit. At number 9, I have the 49ers, because while I view them as a top 10 team because they're well coached. CMC is playing very well and their defense is very good. I'm just concerned with the way they've played, about the idea of them against actually really good teams.
Yeah, that's where my concern is too. I'm just curious to see how they perform against real good teams. Falcons are middle of the pack right now.
The Falcons are inconsistent. They're the same Falcons they've been.
And that's where I just can't trust them. But at the same time, it's the 49ers can play a complete game now. So I have to give them that credit. And that's why they're an honorable mention for me, because they have been playing consistent and they are, playing the full game. So number 8, guess who came into the top 10? The Kansas City Chiefs. They are 8 only because you beat up the Raiders. Okay. Mm-hmm. Congrats to you. I mean, anybody else could beat up the Raiders too, except for the 2 teams that they lost, that they won against. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why the Titans are so low. Anyway.
Yeah. At number 8, it's much less that they moved down, but teams moved up over them. I also did, again, reevaluate things based off the past few weeks. The Buffalo Bills down at 8.
I mean,
they're a top 3 potential team, but the way they've been playing
has not been great, and that's fair. I mean, and also on top of that, you have just them on the bye. So theoretically, if they get rested up, maybe
it's not even just injuries with them though. It's just
play calling as well.
It's discipline is my issue with how they've played. Discipline and their run defense, which I've had concerns about. Yeah, I've had concern about all year, even going back to last year. So they're just looking at how, with some of the holes they have, plus the rest of the team not playing up to the standard they were at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
I've had to drop them. So
okay,
Bills at 8.
All right, number 7. I have the Bills. Pretty much the same reason, so there's no need to elaborate.
Number 7, I have the Chiefs. I put them over the Bills because despite... I'm not giving them too much with how they played against the Raiders because it's the Raiders, but they did show enough, and they've been showing enough, and they have Rashee Rice back. The team has just gotten better and better and better.
They're alive again.
And so... they would have been a lot higher if they had been playing someone else who wasn't the Raiders, and just some actual competition. But
yep,
because the competition wasn't really there, I only have them at 7.
Okay. Number 6, Packers.
I
don't like them up that high, but at the same time, who's a more complete team then them, and then you will soon find out who is at the top. Not many teams right now. Maybe the Chiefs could argue it could be better, but at the same time, they just got Rashid Rice back, and they also played the Raiders, so I don't know how good they actually are. I just need one more game to gauge how complete the Chiefs are. That's probably the only reason why they're behind the Packers right now, solely for that reason. So
Yeah, that's fair. My number 6 is actually going to be the Broncos. They moved up a bit, and I'm keeping them in front of the Chiefs because, again, that front seven has been really good. The offense, inconsistent, but the way they've been able to close out games they closed out a game against the Eagles.
Yeah.
That I'm impressed with. And yes, it's the 2-5 Giants, but this is a pretty good 2-5 Giants right now. Like,
they're a competitive team.
It's not like an easy.
It's not an easy win.
It's not an easy win. Like, you can't look at the Giants and go, oh, but they lost to the Saints, so they're bad. It's like it's a different Giants team, and the way they've played in those fourth quarters, the way the D line, that front seven has performed, I have a lot of things I'm impressed with. Again, they could have been a lot higher, but not playing much, like not doing much well in the first three quarters is the only reason why they're kind of out of the top 5. But
yeah,
again, you have to. While the first three quarters wasn't great, I have to give them credit for that fourth quarter.
That's also fair.
So I have them up at 6.
Number 5, Rams.
I also have the Rams.
Pretty complete team. I mean, they beat the Jaguars in London.
They just
shut
have
them out.
They have some weeks where they're like, there's some concerns with the defense, but
then they go and do this.
Yeah, then there's the offense, which like sometimes isn't as exciting or functional, and then there's Devontae Adams getting a hat trick, and Stafford with 5 touchdowns. So
yeah, with under 200 yards.
it's
a complete team right there.
Yeah, it's not perfect football, but it's good
efficient
football. And again,
it's efficient football.
I think the Rams are still my favorite from the NFC West, especially as far as Super Bowl odds go.
Yeah, that's fair.
So on to 4.
Yeah, 4. It hurts, but Buccaneers.
Yeah,
That's it. They lost to probably one of the top 3 teams.
Yeah,
So
I would agree.
How it is.
My number 4 is the Packers.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't like the way that they have been winning, and I have my concerns with the offense and such, but they're winning. Their defense is good. Josh Jacobs has been winning them games. They're well coached. They're a good team, and they're only going to get better because we know what they do later in the year. Like in January, Packers are scary.
Yeah, that's why I don't. That's why I don't drop them out of the top 10.
So like I still have them top 5, but I just not great showing against the Cardinals, but you win a game
better later down the road.
Yeah, so I have them at 4.
Number 3, I have the Eagles.
Oh, so we're way off on the Eagles.
Yeah, we're way off on Eagles. I mean,
why Eagles at 3?
5-2. Sure, their record doesn't really explain their entire story, but
I mean, you have the Chiefs in at 4-3. You can't really just look at record.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things where I have a small hope that they'll figure out their offense, and I think they can. But another week of stagnation on the running game, and A.J. Brown complaining on the internet about not getting the ball all the time, they're going to tank. They are this close for just going.
Yeah, are they going to actually bounce back and fix things, or are they going to collapse again?
Yeah, and you also have Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis completely destroying it on defense. Like, you're not going to...
Their defense is good.
Yeah, you're not going to have any argument there against them. I mean, that whole defense, Cooper DeJean is still going to play well. I mean, you saw that breakup with Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
That's a great play. And therefore, like, their defense is literally the only thing that, in my opinion, is carrying them to relevance right now. The moment that defense falters, you're done. So
yeah. At 3, I have the Buccaneers because Tampa Bay, I think they're still a good team. Maybe underestimated the Lions a little bit.
Just a wee bit.
Especially, coming off of a loss at home. The Lions have been really good in those situations. And it was a tough game against an angry Lions team. And again, Lions one of the top teams, but you showed some weakness, but I still think a top team.
Top team, yes,
so.
For sure. Number 2, Colts.
Interesting.
Who do you have at 2?
We have things flipped. I have the Lions because
we flipped.
Lions, they're very impressive bounce back against the Buccaneers. Like I mentioned, defense played out of their minds for a team that's missing one of your best defensive players, but you stepped up big and doing what you need to win. I still have some concerns with the Lions right now. It's just kind of consistency, because
they'll get back to it. They're
a 2-loss team, but their 2 losses were not good losses against good teams.
Against good teams, but they weren't great losses.
They were kind of ugly, which is where I have a little bit of concern. And then you mentioned you have Lions at 1.
I just think even with all their injuries and their suspensions, they're still pretty good. Tesla, really good. Jahmyr Gibbs carrying that front load. Montgomery's a little bit quieter this year, but he's still a pretty great running back. Jared Goff is as efficient as ever. St. Brown, also not as loud this season when it comes to production, but he's still making great plays. That offense is going to be great. Defense really stepped up. Hutchinson, while he hasn't been getting a ton of notice, or at least that I've seen across the internet, he's still a very phenomenal player. And he's probably performed better after his injury. So it's still pretty good. I mean, he already was one of the top in leading sacks so far this season, I think.
He's up there.
Correctly. And the reason why the Colts are at 2 is just, I don't know.
You just don't trust them.
There's that little bit where I'm just like, I've seen this before.
Well, you say that.
This is Daniel Jones.
I don't think we've ever seen a Daniel Jones team this good.
That's the thing. It's just
it's a lot of doubt.
I've never seen this before, so I don't trust it. I don't like new things.
It's true, but I have Colts at 1 because looking at this team, they are just dominant. They destroyed the Chargers, mostly behind Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor might actually get Offensive Player of the Year if he continues to do as well as he has.
I think he's easily the favorite right now.
Yeah, he's definitely the favorite. It's just,
but
who else competes against him?
Daniels is efficient. The offense is functioning very well. O-line's good. Their defense, even though they have quite a few injuries, has been pretty good. They let up a little bit against the Chargers, but I think that's just because you had such a comfortable lead. And again, if they're healthy, once they get all some of their corners back, and because again they're still missing Ward on IR for a few weeks, but
they're still playing at a high level.
They're playing phenomenal football, and they, to me, look more complete than anyone else in the league. I don't know. That's the power rankings we have. Week 7.
Yay.
Dunzo. On to week 8.
That's crazy. Thank you all for joining us on this very long-winded but very informational Week 7 recap. If you want to join us in the Pigskin Pick'ems, we'll drop a link into this episode and into the Week 8 preview as well, so you can come compete with us. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode. See you.
Bye.